Hello, how are you? My name is Oscar Gill. Um, Today's discussion board, we're discussing the problem of scale and how it factors into the government ability to effectively operate and meet the needs of the population. And my sources are Chandran Bakahantas, The Definition of the State, and Donald Livingston, The Southern Tradition of Unlimited Government, and Newton Fowler, To Secure the Blessings of Liberty, the Concept of Liberty in the American Constitution. All right, so let me go ahead and it's a very interesting um, discussion, I think. David Hume and Hume's theory of the state, the theories of freedom developed by philosophers such as Jean-Jacques Rousseau and Immanuel Kant, and the history behind the emergence of the state in Europe during the 13th and 19th centuries. Hume wrote on liberty. Hume suggests there's a tendency to authority and also a tendency to liberty, whereas human government and society have a place in contriving and protecting society in which liberty can be instituted. While government had a place in attaining liberty of speech, it was the latter of the ideas of the Enlightenment which mitigated the path Western civilization would follow. Furthermore, Newton Fowler writes, to secure the blessing of liberty, the concept of liberty in the American Constitution, the ideas of government shaped the complex notion of liberty contained in the U.S. Constitution. Notwithstanding, the author states, the shared heritage of the men at Philadelphia contained ideas from classical antiquity, English common law, Enlightenment rationalism, New England Puritanism, English radical political literature of the 17th century, and Whig interpretation of history. Okay, all right. Those are two of the sources that I was talking about. Now, getting back to the subject of the problem of scale and how it factors into government. Dr. Don Livingston we talked about it this week, and he also talked about it 2 or 3 weeks ago, that in the United States, we only have 435 House of Representatives, which falls short of what the population is today. If we were to have the proper House of Representatives, which would be one House of Representatives person for every 30,000 people, we would have proper representation. We don't have that now. We would have 10,500 members in the House of Representatives if that were the case. Yes, it's capped off, and I agree with Dr. Livingstone, which is a huge loss for self-government. And now, in regards to the problem of the scale and how it factors into government, I think self-government is very important. So does that mean we should have more representatives in government? I totally agree we should. If that means we should break up some of the big states, Virginia broke up, some of the other states broke up, California could be broken into 3. I know some of those thoughts might seem a little radical, but if we break it up, we can have better representation. So that's my thought. If the Congress had a ratio which we use today, that would be like one House of Representatives. Right now, it's one House of Representatives for every 758,000 people. So I'm pretty much a nobody for that House of Representative member. There's so many people out there. Now, if there was one to every 30,000, which it should be, I think that would be proper representation. Now, I lean toward more the Lincolnian tradition of centralization, which we fought the Civil War, and it should have ended right there. So nowadays, when I hear people say, "Well, perhaps there's a reason to be able to secede from a union or break off," I hear people, even classmates that live in other states, who say that they have their state has a right to secede because they feel that their state has been treated wrongly by the United States. That troubles me because we fought a civil war for that, to end that radical thought. And yet here again we start bringing it up again because we're getting so large. As a first generation American, I find myself looking at the American ideals, and I believe in the American ideals. So yes, there are signs of that our country is. There are some discontent, resources. Some people are saying that resources are being exhausted. I don't agree with the philosophical thought on that, and that was written in my third source, the Southern Tradition and Limited Government. So, furthermore, I'd like to state on that. Let me get my notes together. So there's natural law limit as to how far centralization can go and how much of human life can be managed by the center. Otherwise, one falls under the punishment reserved for the builders of the Tower of Babel. I think that was a nice quote from the author Donald Livingston. Again, he said that there is a natural law limit as to how far centralization can go and how much of human life can be managed by the center. I'm not sure that perhaps when he was writing that he saw how we're not being representative, but if we had proper representation, I think we could actually, continue the Lincolnian attitude of united one government. So when I hear people start saying from California or to other states saying that no, we can do this, we don't need to listen to the federal government, that's highly troubling because again we fought a civil war for that. That ended the case. The federal government is that's what kept us together. I think Hume and also Hobbes in the discussion, Dr. Livingston was talking about, was highly anticipative of making sure we had a strong government so we wouldn't fall into chaos. And when we start breaking up like that, there's going to be issues. But I think we have a system in place that can keep everything together as long as we stay within the boundaries of which it was established. So that's my thought. I appreciate your time. I hope you have a good night. Thank you.